I chase experiences, not titles. I think I've taken 3 pay cuts in my life to just chase an experience that I thought would make me stronger. I started my career in the late 90s. Back then, where you started a marketing career was Procter and Gamble. I started at P&G. I think I was 30 and a president of the largest division at J&J, and I stopped everything and moved to Silicon Valley because I just felt like the world was changing. I talk a lot about this East Coast, West Coast, Tupac, Biggie thing in marketing. I was just like, I got to go West Coast. I got to like go and understand what's happening. Direct response was starting.
Yeah.
VCs were sort of investing in marketing in a totally different way.
Yep.
That began my career in tech and Silicon Valley. I now work much more for ownership than I do
Yep.
for salary. That's a reframe. I don't work for the prestige, I work for the impact. I took some pay cuts, but in the end, I started to learn to work for equity. I started to understand what ownership does for wealth creation for your family. I always took chances. I lived in Switzerland, I lived in Singapore, I lived in India. I'd always say yes to the assignments or the jobs where the level of difficulty or the level of changes around me were going to be very high. I valued the experience and the growth rather than trying to get it perfect every time. Silicon Valley works on unit economics. Ultimately, I think VCs have a great model. PE has a great model how they look at companies, and I've tried to learn that over the years. What I try to look at before I join any company, what is their customer acquisition cost to LTV, LTV to CAC ratios? You got to go deep into the unit economics. How much does it cost to acquire a customer? What's the payback period? Is there a chance to grow that LTV over time? If you know that the payback periods on the marketing are X and you see the cash on their balance sheet and then you see a growth trajectory that looks reasonable with good unit economics, you know you've got a very good foundation from which to build on. There's
Yeah.
this huge group of DTC companies that are in a graveyard right now because they were very good at acquiring customers very cheaply. So they don't get cohort economics. If you acquire a customer, the business model and the revenue retention and the customer retention is very strong. I think it's critical you look way beyond just a basic income statement to see if the company is going to be successful.